So today we're going to make a bracelet that is a lot of fun and beautiful and so easy. It's called the Flip Flop Bracelet. The reason it's called that is very simple. It requires flipping your piece over as you work. Now I've shared a tutorial similar to this. So as you can see, this is kind of like a straight rib. You can find this tutorial on my profile. It is very easy. However, this one uses a single running thread running through your piece. That's why it is a single color. So that makes it a bit difficult to work with. Now, when I created this bracelet, it was my answer to this one, because you can see that this one goes on a diagonal. And on this one, you have a rib occurring with, you have two sort of knot rows and then a wider rib. And it works on a diagonal just because of the dynamic of the bracelet. Now, this is very pretty as well. There are two different styles, but this was my way of sort of improving on that one. However, I'm going to show you this one because it is much easier and it's easier to do different colors. Whereas with this one, you'd have to finish off a thread and change threads. This one incorporates different colors naturally. Now, if you know my style by now, you know that I like to do gradients. I just love how it looks. It creates sort of like a cohesive, very modern, sophisticated look. And then you can stack them beautifully because each one has its own color. So I tend to create my bracelets like this. However, this is a very open-ended bracelet. You can make it with, I would say the minimum would be 4 strands. Then you have 3 wide. The sort of like happy medium is 6. Many people prefer to do 3 colors and double them over. I am going to create a stronger gradient here by using 6 different colors, and really it's anything goes. So we're going to start by cutting these 48 inches. Again, the one that I made is a little bit narrower, and I did 48 inches, and there was definitely an easy foot plus left over. So you could probably get away with 36 inches, but I'd much rather have extra just in case something gets tangled along the way. So I'm going to do 48 inches. Now, this is 48 inches if you're not doubling it over. If you are doubling it over, you could probably do, let's say, 80 inches, and then double that over. And we're going to line them up roughly. No need to really spend too much time, and just tie them in a starting overhead knot. I do have a separate post on how to start and finish friendship bracelets different ways. I honestly like to just, for something like this, I will probably end up doing cord ends, not ribbon crimps. This is a ribbon crimp. I have a separate video on this way of closing, but I'm probably going to do cord ends around this knot, because it's not one that I felt like I needed to start in a straight row. Now we are going to clip it in place. We're going to organize it darkest to lightest, or whichever order you like your colors to be. In our case, it is darkest to lightest. All right, so that I could show you. All right, so you're making your regular forward knots, and that is 1 forward knot, and you're going to do a forward knot, which is essentially 2 forward knots, 2 forward hitches around each row, each string in order. That's 1, and that's 2. And now the next color. All right, 1, 2. One, 2. Now, sometimes I actually start my bracelet before filming a tutorial, because then you could see better like what's forming, because the first row tends to be a little squished. However, I wanted to show you a little more about how I started off, because I always have people asking questions. So I did that this time. So I'm showing you from the beginning. Try to show you a deeper row as well. So 1, 2. Alrighty, so that's your first row. Now we are going to flip over the whole shebang. So we flipped it over so that now you can see the back side of the previous row. And we are going to do the same thing, knot from left to right, forward knots. Now, some bracelets have very concrete rules, and those are the ones that I find are the easiest to learn. In this one, you're always knotting from left to right, forward knots. So it is a very easy bracelet. which is why I believe it's so popular. So we are forward around the lightest. You're going in the backwards order. So now you're going lightest to darkest. Alrighty. So now we are going to take the whole thing and flip it over. Now you're flipping over between every single row of the same color. When you switch colors, you don't flip it over. That's your rules. So remember your rules. Alrighty, so now we're going to knot this whole row again, forward knots using the same color. All right, now this is the biggest drawback of showing the tutorial on the first row. You can't 100% see what's going on. But basically, if you look, you have over there that raised one, the down one, the indented one, and then the raised one. And now we're going to switch color, so we're not going to flip it. We're going to take the next color. That's the drawback of showing you the tutorial on the first row. However, you'll bear with me and watch as we do the second. Without flipping it, we're going to take the second color. So that's the second to darkest in our case. And we are going to repeat the same process. Forward knot around each one. Now, once again, if you're new to making bracelets, that's 2 knots, 2 forward knots. But we just call it a forward knot because each knot, what we're going to call a knot in bracelet making, is actually 2, what's officially called a hitch. So it's what you might have called a knot previously. They're actually called hitches, and where each knot is made up of 2 of them. So when we say forward knot, we mean that you do this 2 times. So we're going to go once and twice. And that's a knot. So we're going once across every color, flip, again doing the same direction once across every color, flip, do once across every color again, and switch. Flip the bracelet so that you see the back of the knot, and the working thread is once again on the left. The raised part, the indented part, and the raised part. So now we're going to take the next color. And we are going to continue doing this for each of the colors until our bracelet reaches the desired length. So here we've completed one of each color, and I'm going to complete the rest off camera, not to bore you, and then show you the final result when it's finished. All right, so here we are. You can see the beautiful, beautiful ombre we have going on here. This is what I was going for. It is a grayish kind of sage green. That's the overall tone, but you can see that we have many different shades in there, even white. Here's this one that I showed you earlier. This one, my 3-year-old saw me making and she claimed. This just shows you what you do with it, what you can do for more of a monochromatic, less dramatic look. This is in the middle, and this is just, I love it. That's what I was going for. There you have it. That's how you make the flip-flop bracelets. Let's give you a good close-up of the texture. See that? Beautiful. And that is what the back looks like. So still presentable, but not quite as beautiful as this.